Wednesday. I cannot believe that we are like dangerously close to February the 1st. It just seems like the other day we were up at the Greenbrier together last year in January of 2025. I think most people were trapped in the snow that we had up there, Kyle Keeter. But, I'm just telling you, time is such a thief. I had a gentleman tell me years ago, he said, Jonathan, the older you get, days go by like years and years will go by like days. And I was listening to a podcast this morning and a gentleman was talking about that, on earth, that humans are the only creatures on earth or living things that never live up to their full potential and who they were meant to be. And he dove deeper into it and he said, you think about like an oak tree. All right, an oak tree is going to grow up and be as big as it can be, right? Now, I'm sure there are circumstances that can knock over an oak tree, but he said you take a cheetah, for instance, okay? A cheetah doesn't say, you know what, I'm not going to run 60 plus miles an hour. That's just that's not in me. Like, yes, it is. It's who you were meant to be. Eagles don't say, well, hey, I'm not going to fly. I'm going to stay down here on the ground and be like a chicken and not soar up here, right? And he kept talking about how something has to switch mentally for you not to live up to your full potential. You either become who you are capable of being, or you'll spend the rest of your life justifying why you didn't become that. And I think what we have here at Equus, you have the opportunity to be who you were meant to be. Maybe it's financially, maybe it's spiritually, maybe whatever that looks like for you. Success is all about, and it's all relative. Are you living out your life to the fullest potential, helping families, helping your family, taking care of your family? And, that's the opportunity that we have here. Only thing guaranteed is pepper. You can choose to suffer right now, or you can live through the pain, right? There's going to be pain. You're either going to have the pain of discipline, or you're going to live with the pain of regret, and you're going to be justifying it, saying, I was in that insurance thing, Nick. I was too smart for the business. I thought of all the ways it wouldn't work, even though I was listening to everybody else, and they were telling me this is what they did. See, when we bring leaders on and they run breakout rooms and you hear people talk, it's not that they're smarter than you. Understand that. It's just that they've made more mistakes along the way, and they're trying to transfer those mistakes to you. So understand, when you hear people talk, they're not smarter than you, are they, Bill? It's just they've made more mistakes along the journey, and they're trying to, collapse your time frame and get you ahead of that learning curve. So we got a lot coming down the pipeline. I know it's Wednesday. Got a lot going on today. You have the opportunity to change your week.Maybe you're having a good week. Now you can have a great week. Maybe you're not having such a good week. You have the opportunity to turn that today. Tomorrow we've got an Integrity Managing Partner, Nick Theodore. He's going to be hosting. He's going to be talking about how to stay consistent in your business. How do you stay consistent? That's the biggest thing. See, I see Flashy Freddy's come up here all the time. I've seen them come and go. You've seen them in your business. Flashy Freddy's, and then all of a sudden maybe adversity hits or they don't build a business. I will take a steady Eddie. Just give me a steady Eddie, someone who's going to show up every day, and they're going to be consistent, because you cannot outrun consistency. When consistency and intentionality meet, that's where excellence takes place. And I want to recognize the agents that are being consistent. They're hitting their 5x5. So last week, these agents hit their 5x5. Chuck Knox, 11 applications. He doubled the standard there for 11 apps. 7 signed ICAs. Lincoln Anderson, 7 applications with 9 signed ICAs, almost doubling the standard on the signed ICA. So congratulations, Chuck and Lincoln. When I see those numbers there with people that are consistent with the 5x5, I can pretty much tell you who's on their way to get to their next promotion, who's on their way to get to their next title, because consistency is all this business is. It's all it can be, is being consistent. You don't have to be the sharpest knife in the drawer. I'm raising my hand because I'm first up there on top of that list. You don't have to be the sharpest knife in the drawer. It's just good old-fashioned hard work, stay in consistency. And for those of you that are brand new and you were on last night's call, listening to Dasha talking about how part-time has changed her life, how part-time has given her some hope that there's more than just the status quo of what everybody else wants me to be. Awesome job, by the way, last night, John Kite and Dasha Gore. But if you were on that call and you're brand new and we talk about what is 5x5, 5 applications, that's 5 families we helped. And we put 5 people in the pipeline that raised their hand that said, you know what? I want this opportunity for myself and my family. So congratulations to Chuck Knox and Lincoln Anderson for hitting that 5x5 this week. Also, we've got a jam-packed call coming up on Friday, leaders call with Barry. For me, that's my favorite day of the week, because, Monday through Thursday, we pour into everybody. And then Thursday comes around and then Barry Clarkson pours into all of us on Friday. So don't want to miss a leaders call. Any opportunity you have to listen to Barry Clarkson, I'm just telling you, it's just wisdom that comes out and experience. Barry will tell you, I've made a lot of mistakes over the years, and here's what works and here's what don't work. Getting around like-minded people, the Orlando conference coming up March the 25th and 26th. Now, I always bring it up and understand when I say, you have to come to conference. Nobody has to do anything in life. Like you don't have to be on this call. You're choosing to be on this call. Those who choose to come to conference, what I have found in our business, they tend to have longevity in the business. Those that stay engaged in the business and they get around like-minded people. Orlando Conference, March 25th and 26th. I'm just telling you, I really feel like it's going to be one of our best conferences ever. It's because of the hungry and humble people that we have in this organization that want more out of life. I really do. So get registered. If you're not registered, this is your chance to get registered. I'm going to say it all the way up until March 24th, Barry. If you're not registered for conference, you got a shot. I'm going to say it every day that I come on here, right? And you say, why do you say it every day? Well, I brush my teeth every day too, right? It's just a habit. You're going to do it. It's a healthy habit. So get registered. I love seeing the gold bar from people's names. I think Olivia was in the office with me a minute ago, and I was just looking at the leaderboard and I was going through it, and there was a couple of names on there. She said, they're not registered for conference? And see, here's what people will say, Rob. They'll say, well, they're going to be there. Do I? I mean, I'm from afar. Do I know they're going to be there? You might think you're going to be like, do I know? I don't know. That little gold bar does not lie. The numbers do not lie. So get registered for conference. I look forward to seeing everybody there. Also, I did not say, it was on my notes, but yesterday was Elena's birthday. So I want to say happy birthday to you publicly. Thank you for all that you do with the creative team, making us look good on social media. So happy birthday to you. Hopefully it was well spent up in the, the snow that you guys probably had the past couple of days. So happy birthday to you, Elena. So let's go ahead and open up breakout rooms. I'm going to have Nick Burns here in the main session with me. If you got questions now, I want you to throw them in the chat. Nick loves to help somebody because, again, it's not that he's smarter. He's just made more mistakes. Live dials. If you're like, JB, I've got a stack of leads. I need to hear somebody set some appointments. She might even let you dial in there. She'll help you coach you up on that. Olivia Thompson is in the live dial session. Kyle Keeter is in the teacher lead platform. If you're running teacher leads and you're helping families with retirement, go into the teacher lead platform with Kyle Keeter. But I've got Nick with me here in the main session. You got questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat because Nick wants to help somebody today. Nick, good morning.
Morning. Good morning. Hopefully we'll have some people with some questions today and get better. JB, all these volunteers that get on these calls, they do it to help you. They don't do it to, it's for their ego, right? So I don't want this the next 30, 45 minutes or whatever it's going to be. I don't want Nick Burns just talking, going through everything. I want questions. I want somebody that's like, Nick, I need help. Like I'm struggling. I want this to work. This has to work for me. I need help. So if that's you, please put in the chat, raise your hand, ask some questions. Guys, there really can be no dumb questions to an extent, right? If it's a question where we can guide you in a different direction, we'll guide you in a different direction. But I want to help you with the presentation part. You always hear us say, Scott Rumble taught me this. Gosh, man, as JB's coming up on 5 years in April of 21. And it's really hard to believe. It seems like it's been 18 months. You know, I sold final expense insurance for years. Absolutely loved it door to door, right? If I had to go back and do it again tomorrow, I'd do it. Loved the final expense business. And I was always just writing a policy, you know, 10, 15, $20,000 for their burial. Didn't know that what I was really doing was it wasn't what I was selling them. It wasn't a whole life insurance policy. It was what it does for their family. It gave them a peace of mind, right? It gave them the peace that, hey, my family's going to be taken care of. You know, and Forbes magazine posted this the other day, and I've seen it over the last 6, 7, 8 years. There's a 6, 7, right? 6, 7, 8 years. It says nobody wants your product. They want what your product gives them. Nobody wants your product. They want what your product gives them. So think about anything that you buy in life on a daily basis. Why do you buy it, right? You buy it for a reason. If you really dig deep, whether it's your car that you drive, the type of car that you drive, the type of food that you eat, right? There's a reason why behind that. So when it comes to the presentation part, whether it's off an ethos lead, whether it's off a final expense lead, whether it's off a mortgage protection lead, or there's a target inquiry lead, I don't care what kind of lead it is. People are buying for what it does for them, what it gives them. And so your job to get elite in this business is to get really, really good at that. When I say really good at it, really good at it. All right. I don't send quotes. Like if somebody is getting me off the phone, they tell me they want to think about how one this week, right? Just didn't want to do it. 25-year-old dude with a 25-year-old wife, 2 kids under the age of 3 years old. She don't work. He's the only breadwinner. No life insurance. And dude, JB, I was on him. Like I said, look, can we just be completely transparent here? He was like, yeah. I said, you don't come home tomorrow, she's in trouble. Is that fair to say? Oh yeah, we got some family, you know, that I said, oh, you got family money? Oh no, we got family money, but people pick it up. I said, man, you really believe that in your mind? Y'all got a $1,300 a month house payment. You make $95,000 a year. She don't make anything. You got, you know, so anyways, he actually, I was very, you know, I was very brutally honest with the guy, but he actually sent me a text later, said, Nick, I've had a bad day. I apologize. He said, I really want this. Just give us some time to think about it. He was nice about it, but I'm not going to hear back from him. So my point is you got to learn to get really good at explaining what your product does for people. All right. Don't focus necessarily on the product piece of it. Focus on the emotional part of it, of what it's going to do for them. Sometimes it can be logical, right? I know a lot of you do income. It's very logical. I get more on the emotional piece. I really get good at explaining what we offer, right? Before you got to get good at really doing that before you even show prices, because the price really don't matter. At the end of the day, make no mistake about it. The price, to an extent, really doesn't matter. Because like I was talking to a lady this week, JB, she's 65, the husband's 77. He's got dementia, right? Can't do anything for him. I can get I don't write guaranteed issue. I could get one of our guys to write a guaranteed issue. I personally don't write it. All right. That's just my choice. I just don't write a guaranteed issue. I tell them to get it through, get it through the mail, AARP, Mutual Omaha through the mail, because it's cheaper. It's the better product for them, just being transparent with you. But this lady told me, she said, Nick, I got $650 a month to spend on insurance. Husband's got dementia. So price wasn't an issue. She is fighting to get him some coverage. She's healthy. Hopefully I'm going to write her today, but she has $650 a month to spend on insurance. My point of telling you that is there's pain. She got a $207,000 mortgage. She don't have but $10,000 on it. She knows she's in trouble if something happens, right? She needs that product that we offer of what it's going to do for them. And in that situation, I can't do anything for him because he's got dementia. So guys, I want to help you guys out, answer any questions. Feel free to put it in the chat, and let's roll.
Well, when you say you got to get good at doing this business, the only way you get good is by doing it. That's the only way. It's like I can watch video after video after video on how to hit a baseball. I can. I mean, I can be a savant. I can tell you all the best bat, what it does, the exit velocity. I can tell you everything about hitting. But until I get in that daggum cage, Bill, I mean, I'm not going to know what to do with that bat when I hold that bat. So when Nick said you got to get really good, it's the experience. It's how many dials you make, how many presentations that you give. That's how you get good in this business. That's the only way you get good at this business. If you didn't watch any video, I'm here to tell you right now, as many resources we have here at Equus, if you didn't watch one video and you didn't listen to anybody else dial and you took a phone script and you just picked up the phone and dialed, you would learn how to do this business. You would. Somebody's got their hand raised. Nick, let me ask you right here, how important is it to have the engagement with the client?
Oh, it's everything. It's absolutely everything. And here's the thing, you've got to do your part. So Frank Davis is asking how important it is to have the engagement of the client. It's everything. But it starts with you on the call. So if I've got JB and Carolyn from a lead, I've got JB as the mortgage, I got a co-bar. All right, I asked JB, I said, I'm showing you got a co-bar in here. Who's oh yes, my wife Carolyn. Okay, is Carolyn there with you? All right, awesome. Hey Carolyn, it's Nick. How are you? I'm very intentional. I'll write down Carolyn's name. I'll make sure that I write it down again on my needs analysis because I want to make sure that I'm engaging both of them on the call, right? I had one last night, husband and wife, 72 and 71. The wife was kind of off in the distance. I had to basically drag her to communicate on the call because I wasn't going to go any further, Frank, because I knew that I needed to talk to both of them. That's what you're looking for because, again, right, it goes back to this simple thing. Nobody wants your product. They want what your product gives them. It may be the other spouse that really pushes the other spouse that they need it. That's why you got to have them both on there, okay? Because mama always, a lot of times, mama's going to win. All right, so you want to make sure you engage in both of them. You're communicating with both of them. You're going back and forth and saying their name's JB, Carolyn. Like I'm very intentional when I do that. So it's very important to have them engaged because if they're not engaged, they're not listening to you and they're getting off the phone with you as quickly as possible.
And you can do the best presentation in the world, and it just went in one ear and out the other. I think it's Kanisha Sherrard. Let's go ahead and bring her on, Nick. She's got her hand raised. And I see her on camera, so I want to make sure we help her.
Hi, Nick. Nice to meet you. I'm Kanisha Sherrod. So I've been licensed for almost 10 years. I just didn't use the license ever, but so I'm still fairly new. I've just been doing this for a month. One of the things that you're talking about is the emotional aspect. And I think that's what I've been struggling with the opening script. It feels I don't know, it doesn't feel like the words that I would use in the script. And I'm being told to use it exactly, but it doesn't feel like natural to me. And I feel like I'm a computer reading off of a piece of paper, and I'm trying to figure that out. And to get the client interested in the beginning. So I'm just trying to figure out how to grasp that client from the beginning.
Are you talking about on the beginning of a call to book an appointment, or the beginning of an appointment when you actually get them on video at the beginning?
Well, one, I'm having a problem getting appointments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Kanisha, tell me, give me two minutes about what you do. Tell me about what you do. Like, what are you doing for clients? Like,
Well,
I'm not in the insurance business. All right.
okay.
What do you do?
Well, when they answer, I say, hello, this is Kanisha Sherrod. I'm calling about your mortgage from
No.
this.
No. Tell me. I just met you. I'm in Texas, and I met you at a Starbucks, right? And I'm in line, and I see you're wearing your Equus logo. Hey, what? And I ask you, what do you do? What do you do for a living? Tell me what you do. What do you do with clients?
Um, I think I would tell them, I am a field underwriter, but really what I am is just a lover of making sure that people are covered during those difficult times. So I would tell them why I started in this business. And the reason why I started in the business is because I got tired of seeing people with GoFundMe's on there when it's so inexpensive to just get covered. And, so I want to be that connector for people to understand that it's not a scary thing to talk about what happens to you after you passed away. I just think it's just so important for people to get covered. So I would say that's why I'm working in this business. I'm very passionate about it. I'm fully covered. I have so many policies, and I just want people to see the importance of life insurance.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Kanisha, you got kids?
I have one kid. Yes,
How old?
I'm a single mom.
How old?
She's 10.
10. All right, perfect. So
Mhm.
she's in fifth grade, fourth
She's
grade?
in fifth grade.
All
Yeah.
right, all right. So I always like to use this slogan because at this time my kids were in fifth grade when I started using it. You've got to be able to explain to your daughter what you do. All right. Be able to explain to your daughter what you do. Use
Okay.
that to explain it to the clients that you're talking to. All right. So for example, at this time, my twins, they're in seventh grade now. All right.
Okay.
And I said, hey, you got to be able to explain what we do to a fifth grader. So what I do to my kids, all right, I'll tell my twins, these are my twins right here. All right, they're 13 now. They're getting all grown. Okay, boy.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I tell you, Betsy and John, here's what I do. All right, you see this house that we live in? If I passed away or if your mama passed away, God forbid, this house y'all live in, nobody have to pay for it. It'd be paid off. All right. Also, if I got sick and I couldn't go to the office and make calls, or if I had a car wreck or something couldn't work, the policies that I write, it would give the family the money to be able to stay in this home. That way y'all can have a house to live in. You see how simple that is,
Yes.
right? So my point of that is use that same mentality when you're talking to clients. So what I'll do with you, Kanisha, I'll get on the phone with you, Kanisha. Hey, Kanisha, hey, look, we're going to be going over these, what this is. All right. Now I know you probably worked hard today. This is really simple. What this is, Kanisha, is we call it mortgage protection. Okay. But at the end of the day, Kanisha, it's a plan put in place that if you passed away, your daughter would have a home that's paid for. Okay. Pretty simple. The second piece of what it does, if you qualify for it, it has what we call a living benefit, Kanisha. God forbid if you got critically, chronically, or terminally ill, heart attack, stroke, cancer, bad car wreck, something, Kanisha, that prevented you from physically being able to work for up to 90 days, you could file a claim on this and get the money to either pay your bills, or if it's really bad and you have to file for your disability, you can get up to 100% of the loan amount to pay off your loan. All right.
Yeah.
So my job is real simple. My job is just to see if you qualify for it. So let me go through my needs analysis really quick to make sure you qualify, and then I'll show you the options. You see how very
Yeah.
casual, very, very crystal clear
Right.
about what we're going to be discussing. I think a lot of times, and I know I did this early on. All right. I know I did this early on. What I would do, Kanisha, is I'd grab a lead. All right. It'd be a 52-year-old, be $165,000 mortgage. I'm going on and I'm getting quotes for that individual. And I'm having quotes ready. How,
Okay.
but how stupid was that? Because I don't know if they need the house paid off.
Right.
I don't know if they even qualify for it. Okay.
Right.
Based on their health. So what I had to learn was, again, it wasn't the product that I was selling. It wasn't me going ahead and getting those quotes and figuring it out. It was what that situation it was going to be for Virginia Jones. And is she going to need the home paid off for a spouse? Is she going to just need a certain amount of monthly mortgage payments to pay for the house, right?
Right.
So when you can figure that out, right, get really good at very simple. You speak very well, right? You got a great background. You look the part. You got all you need, okay? You got everything you need. You just got to get really good at keeping this thing stupid simple. And my advice, I know you said you're having a tough time booking appointments. Here's my advice. Start at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoons.
Okay.
And work your butt off until 9 o'clock at night.
Okay.
You're going to make money at 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30 at night. That's where you're going to make your money.
Okay.
Call and sit on them.
Okay.
All right? Call and sit on them. Go into it. All right. JB was talking to one of our agents the other day. What we had a guy that used to teach, would show up at the house, knock on the door with a lead card. All right. Hey, Kanisha, I'm here about that information that you requested. All right. And then what we'd teach agents do, we tell them to start wiping their feet
Mm,
because we're getting in the house. Right.
right.
So go ahead when you call somebody. Hey, Kanisha, it's Nick Burns. How are you?
I'm
Say,
good.
good, good. Hey, Kanisha, my name is not going to ring a bell. Kanisha, the reason I'm calling you is I had sent you a little letter through the mail. It was a while back, Kanisha, and I want to apologize. It was about some options that if you passed away or if you become disabled, that loan that you got with Redstone Federal Credit Union, that what it would do, it would pay off the loan or give you the money to be able to stay in the house. And Kanisha, I apologize. I'm showing that no one had gotten that information to you. Is that right?
Hmm. Yes.
Right. Well, good. My job's simple, Kanisha. My job's just, again, I apologize that no one had gotten this to you. My job's just to see if you qualify for it. So what I'm going to do before we go any further, I'm going to send you a text message. That way you can see who I am. And then I'm going to show you what you qualify for.
Okay. Sure.
All right. Did you see that I asked you for an appointment?
No, you didn't.
Did I ask you if we could talk about it right now? I just guided you all the way through. So I'm
Right.
just leaning in on what we're going to be discussing. And here's the thing, what I learned in 23 years of this business, lean in, right?
Okay.
Be very assumptive. Like I act shocked when I've got somebody and there's a need and they qualify. I act shocked when they don't buy.
Yeah.
Completely shocked, right?
Yeah.
I had a couple last night, 72 and 71. They would not pull the trigger. Just wouldn't do it.
Hmm.
And she asked me, she said, do we have to do this today? I said, well, let me ask you this. Do you think you need it? Well, we think we need it. Okay. I said, well, good. All right. Well, here's would be my advice. All right. I showed you what 12 months worth of mortgage payments will be in 15 and 18. Let's just do 9. Here's what 9 would be. 9 would only be $87 a month. Start out with that for now. And then down the road, we can always increase it. She said, but
Yeah.
I asked you, do I have to do this today? I said, no, you don't have to do this today. But what I do is when you decline the coverage, I do close out your file. You know, they just would not pull the trigger. So I was just, again, you got to be very assumptive. You almost got to, what's the word I'm looking for, JB? You just gotta have an assumptive attitude every time you're with somebody that you're going to write them. Because if you act casual with it, if you act a little nervous with it, and you will be early on, okay?
Yeah.
These people are vets. They've been sold so much stuff over the years. You got to separate yourself and be different. You got to not be salesy.
Okay.
People don't like people being salesy, right?
Okay.
Don't be salesy. Be very compassionate in what this does for their family. Period.
Okay.
Right? They don't even know the name of the insurance company until they get the text message or the email to sign the app.
Okay.
I don't do a one closed call, Heather. I make sure that the husband and wife are together. Nick, do you ask about a spouse or companion? Yes, I do. So I don't do one call closes with a one legger. I make sure that spouse is there.
Yeah, because sometimes on the card it doesn't tell you if they have a spouse. So yeah.
Yeah. So I always, like on this situation right here, this lady no-showed me. She's 52. There's no co-bar or spouse. So what I would do is, hey, Virginia, look, I'm showing on the loan where you don't have a co-bar, but are you married or have a partner? I have to say partner nowadays. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Have a partner, you know?
Well, I have one today. He is 45, so he's about my age. He is a military retiree recently.
He's got
He is
money.
single, he's healthy, and he has 0 kids and 0 wife. But I was able to speak with him. We had a conversation yesterday. You know, I asked him about how he's doing since he came home, because he just recently came home. And we just started talking about that and, you know, the things he's been dealing with, just getting settled, bought a house. And when he said house, and I'm like, well, have you purchased any mortgage protection to protect your home? And he was like, I really hadn't thought about it. being that I don't have anybody to basically, I don't have anyone that I'm leaving anything to. And I'm like, well, what about your parents? What about, siblings or nieces, nephews? And then he thought about it a little bit more, and which I really did feel, I could tell that, he may have been dealing with a little bit of anxiety from just coming home. And he was like, I really need to think about what exactly I need. And he asked me, could you call me back tomorrow at 11? And I said, sure. And what I'll do in the meantime, I did the needs analysis, took down all of his information. And so I've been thinking about what to offer him when we have the call at 11 today.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's what I would do. All right. Whatever path you decide, I don't care what you decide, whether you think he needs a 20-year term or whether you think he needs an IUL. Okay. Pick one in your mind. Go on when you get off this, go with the rates. You know what he qualifies for. Pick one. All right. Look, I got all your information, John, and you're going to qualify for anything that we got. You're going to qualify in our top tier. What I think would be best for your situation is this. Here's what I would do. Okay. I would get the blah, 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 blah. All right. That way, if you pass away, it's going to go to your family and the house isn't lost. We don't care who you give it to. We just need a beneficiary for the money to go to. That way we protect this mortgage in case something happens. And then you decide down the road, you don't have to decide today, but you decide down the road who that house is going to go to. But I will need a beneficiary today. What it's also going to do, I know you're retired and I know you've got the military benefits coming in, but man, if you got critically, chronically, or terminally ill, you'll get a lump sum of cash from this. Okay. You'll get that as well. But based on your situation, this is what I would do. Guide them. Guide them what to do, right? Don't, a lot of people like to give term insurance. They like to give universal, they like to give all these different options. What do confused people do?
They stay confused.
They don't do nothing.
No.
They're paralyzed, right?
Right.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Good luck with it. Let us know how you do.
Okay, will do.
Direct, don't ask.
Direct, don't ask.
Direct, don't ask. This is, I think I learned from Lori on these calls. Lori would say, here's what most people do in your situation. Everybody wants to do the norm. Everybody wants to do the norm. Here's what most people do, and be confident in it. Nick, I had the same situation yesterday. I think I told you I had a 53-year-old truck driver. In my mind, I'm like, it's a lay down. He's a truck driver. All truck drivers buy. No kids, no spouse, no girlfriend, nothing. I mean, what am I supposed to offer him? Right? He has no pain. He's like, it's going to go back to the bank. I don't care if my brother has it or not. I don't care. I mean, there was just nothing there. So can't close them all.
And guys, don't take for granted, like, you're the one with the insurance license. I don't care if you're brand new or not. You're the one with the insurance license. You're sending that text over with your license, whether you're sending it with an email, whatever you're doing. You're the trusted advisor. That's how they're viewing you. Guide them. Guide them on what they need to get.
I think it's is it Karima Godson? Good Godson. We'll bring her on next. She got her hand raised. I see her on camera.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, Karima.
Hello. Okay, so yesterday, I had an appointment. It was a newly married couple, and I got them on camera. They spoke to me. I introduced myself briefly, and then I asked them about themselves. The husband was the one that was like really interested. He was the one that wanted to know about life insurance, wanted to get him and his spouse protected. The wife was kind of in the background. She wasn't really talking a lot. So what I did wrong, which now I'm listening to you, I did not engage her a lot. Like, I found out her name. I said Malaya, but I didn't tell her or I didn't really ask her a lot of questions. I was mostly talking to him. Then I listened to your presentation last week when you were telling the young lady, this is what you need to do. You need to be a bit better at this. So I was hammering that call. So I got a little bit better at how I keep the presentation engaged and not stray away. Now, I asked him, what exactly are you looking to do? Do you have any idea of what you want right now? He's like, not really. I just want to get us protected. That's what he said. So right away, he was young. He's 30 and Malaya was 29. That's around my age. So I was like, okay, we're both young people here. So really, I have an IUL policy, and this is why I chose to get the IUL. So I started basically like educating on why the IUL policies is good. It has a death benefit. It has the living benefits in there. And I started doing the step-by-step thing that you did. And I said it has, best of all, it has the cash value in there where you're able to use that cash while you're still alive. So I did all of that. At the end of the presentation, he was like, well, can you send me these illustrations? Because I shared my screen and I showed him about the IUL. I showed him about the term life. And then he was like, can you send me the illustration? Because I'm more visual. I like to see things. So did I do something wrong by sending the illustration? Because I did not close that sale. That's where right now I need help with closing the sale.
Karima, awesome. I can tell you're coachable. Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. I think you did everything right. Like you said, you didn't really engage her. Don't you think about it? Young, pretty female, talking to a guy about your age, wife's in the background. You need to make sure she's engaged. Does that make sense? You
Yes.
really need to make sure she's engaged, because people are crazy out there. People get jealous, right? So make sure she's engaged. All right. I don't share the illustration unless they really start asking for it, because that was a little too much more information. Keep it really simple. Keep it really simple, meaning you did the goodness of death benefit. It's going to have a living benefit. All right. Favorite part is it's going to develop some cash value over time. Every time you make a payment into it, it goes into a cash reserve account, and it's going to build cash over time. That after 3 years, maybe 4, okay, you're going to develop and have access to this cash value tax-free. If you don't touch it, it's really going to build up over time. So it's going to do 3 things: death benefit, living benefit, and it's going to develop cash. And then I show them the options. I wouldn't share the illustration because, I don't know. He may have just been one of those nice guys that have been like, hey, just send me the illustration. Like, here's what I do. The most easy people to sell are salespeople. We're gullible, right? We get sold easily. All right. We are. The most easy person to sell is a salesperson. But if I'm not interested in something, you know what I'll say? Hey, just send me some information on that. That's what I'll say if I'm not interested. Okay. So when I hear somebody, it's just my personality. When I hear somebody tell me, just send me that information, Karima, here's what I would have done. Well, let me ask you this. Do you feel like you need this? Sit very solemn, very quiet. Do you feel like you need this? And don't say a word. If his response is, nah, not really. Okay, I understand. I can get off the phone, right? But if he says, yeah, we do. Well, here's what I would do, okay? Start out with a lower amount. Let's make sure you're approved. Everything that I have is simplified issue, meaning we're going to know tonight whether or not you're approved. Start out with a lower amount. Then down the road, we can always increase it. But you stated you need this, okay? You don't have any coverage right now. Let's start out with a lower amount, and then down the road, we'll increase it. So let me show you what a lower amount would be. And a lot of times when I do that, Karima, they don't get the lower amount. They get one of the ones that I've already showed them. Yep.
That's the part that I actually needed help with, like the questions after, okay, send me the illustration, like what questions do I follow up with? So that's the part that I need to tweak and get a bit better at. But thank you very much for that.
In 4 years of selling this, I probably sent 2 illustrations.
Wow.
And for you retirement solution folks on here, don't cuss me on that. It's a different world. You guys are in a different world. You're sharing numbers, right? You're sharing this and you're sharing, it's different. This is simplified issue, lead driven sale, one sit close. This is different than retirement solutions, completely different. We're working ethos, final expense, mortgage protection leads. If you don't get it when you're on the phone with them, you're not going to get it. You're just not. And you got to have that attitude. You've got to be very assumptive that, hey, this is it. Now, I probably over 4 years, I probably had 3 or 4, 5 maybe call me back over the time, right? But I have to go and print off the lead in because I've already tore it up and threw it in the trash can. Because I have to have that mentality. Because if I don't have that mentality, Karima, I'm going to be weak on every sale. Let me say that again. If I don't have that mentality, guys, I hope y'all catch this. If you don't have that mentality that either we're getting a sale or I'm tearing up the lead on every sale, if you're very casual with it, you're going to lose so many sales because you're weak. Okay. I probably wrote 100+ grand more this year because I'm very assumptive, right? It's just being very assumptive on every set that you have. So you're very well versed, very well spoken. You're going to do this. You just got to be very assumptive.
And
Engage.
you said it as well. You said you're going to lose so much sale because you're weak. I was being casual, so I can hold myself accountable and tell you that I was being too casual. The questions now, I'm going to go on some more appointments today, so I'm going to listen back to the recording, and then I'm going to come back and tell you next week what happens.
Right. You're going to be a beast,
Thank
Karima.
you.
Awesome. Here's the thing too, Nick, what I noticed with her and a lot of new people also is they get their insurance license and then they try to start educating people on what type of policy and what the policy does. And they go down this insurance lingo world, right? I've never, ever heard Nick say, this is an IUL policy. This is the return of the rate. I've never heard Nick say that on appointment. You know how Nick presents it? This is a permanent policy that occurs cash value. It's got living benefits. It never goes up. That's how simple Nick explains it. Talk about to a 5th grader. Nick, if you said to Betsy and John, hey, I have an IUL on myself, what's the next thing they're going to say? They're going to ask you another question. Well, and then they ask you another, you're opening yourself up for questions, right? Stay away from insurance lingo, right?
S&P 500, it does this. None of that, right? Keep it simple. Again, this is completely different than Retirement Solutions. So all you Retirement Solutions folks on here, you're probably laughing because it is different, right? There's no way I could sit with somebody 3, 4, 5 times and then do a sale, right? I'm one and done, right? I'm hitting singles, I'm hitting doubles, and every once in a while I hit a home run. But I'm looking for the singles and doubles because I know that's what's going to give me the most amount of runs at the end of the game to win. That's my goal.
Nick, I've also never heard you say, this is a 15-year term insurance. Nick says this is a 15-year plan. This is a 20-year plan. This is a 30-year plan. He don't even talk about insurance lingo. That's the thing. Stay away from insurance lingo because the moment you say a word that they don't understand because you've taken a test, you open yourself up for another question. And you open yourself up for another question. And then next thing you know, you got way off topic from the value of what the product does for them, and you're trying to explain to them in a 40-hour course what an insurance policy is. Stay away from insurance lingo. I got Andre, Nick, on here. Bring on Andre. He's on camera. We'll get you unmuted, Andre.
Okay. Hey, how y'all doing?
Buddy, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. I had a quick question for you guys. So when you're doing a call and you're trying to lead the person to the sale, is the main goal to see if they qualify and get them on an appointment?
Yeah, are you booking appointments? Are you brand new?
I'm brand new.
Okay, Brandon, whose team are you on?
Rick Azuri.
Rick's a stud. Rick's a beast in this business, right? I would call Rick and say, Rick, I want to make it in this business. I really want to make it in this business. Tell me what I need to do. Okay. So as soon as we get off this phone call, shoot Rick a text, right? I promise you, Rick will answer your call and y'all have a private conversation. He's going to guide you step by step on what you need to do. Okay. He will. He'll teach you exactly what to do. This part of the training is for the presentation, right? So once you've called somebody, once you booked an appointment, or once you call somebody and you're ready to do the presentation, this is the training on the presentation. So, dude, I love that you're wanting to know what to do, but reach out to Rick, all right, and he'll help you on what your next steps are.
Okay.
Yep.
Good luck, Andre.
Okay, appreciate you guys.
Let's see. Anybody got their hand raised, Nick? Look, hey, ask questions.
Kevin Lewis says, no, I'm sorry. I looked at something in his background.
Okay. Yeah, if anybody's got questions, I like the ones who raise their hands and they're on camera. We help people who are on camera. Yeah, it lets me know you're engaged. That lets me know that I can help you, right? So I apologize if you had your hand raised and you wasn't on camera. I don't know who you are. I need to see your face. I need to see engagement. So, but Nick, that's, I love the questions because people are going through, they're not asking you theory. I went out and did what they told me to do. I went out and made a mess. Now help me clean it up.
Yep.
And I love what, I think it was Karima who just said, hey, I'm going to go call and I'm going to get more questions and then I'm going to come back. See, that's how you get better in this business. You
Yep.
have to make the mistakes. You can listen to Nick again. I'll take the hitting a baseball, take the shooting a basketball. I can watch film. I can listen to Michael Jordan. I can listen to Mark McGuire. I'm showing my age, right? I can listen to anybody out there about how to hit a baseball. But you got to know what it feels like when you pick up the phone and you got to come back with feedback. See, failure is feedback.
Oh.
That's what failure is. You got to have that failure before we can help you. So,
Yeah, and if you're not, like to JB's point, guys, if you're not doing it, everything that we're saying is Greek. It don't make any sense to you, right? And then you'll start psychoanalyzing. Like I was on a call with Christian Pounder in presentation yesterday, who's a beast, by the way, stud at teaching, right? Stud in this business, stud at teaching. And there was somebody asked a question, and it was just like, that's what you got out of what he said? Like hearing Karima get on the call, and since you brought her up, Karima's doing. So when she hears something, oh yeah, that's right. Like she feels it all the way through. Do, and you'll learn. But do, and get on these calls, and you'll hear something that'll take your business to the next level. That's how I made it in this business. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. Never sold anything virtually, never sold a mortgage protection policy, right? Never sold an IUL. But I got on these calls and I was getting my butt kicked, right? And I was hearing from guys and girls that were getting it done, and I was learning. I was doing exactly what they taught, but I was doing. And your learning curve goes so much quicker when you do and you learn at the same time.
yeah. Well, it's just like this. Anytime I call an insurance company or bank or anytime, what do you hear? This call is being recorded for quality assurance purposes. They use those calls for the training for the newbies to coming in. So understand, this call is being monitored for quality. They use the phone call, real life experience, to train the people and to critique the people and make them better customer service agents as well. Nick, do you use the same opening no matter how old the lead is, what type of lead? Like when you're dialing an appointment, when you're setting an appointment. I assume when you're dialing a lead.
I don't know if she means opening if I'm dialing or opening on an appointment. Carrie, can you clarify? Tony Pompeo has a question.
Let's see. There he is. He's on camera. There's Tony Pompili. What's up, my man?
Can you see me? I don't know if I'm here or not.
I see you on
Can you hear
camera.
me?
Can't believe you're wearing
Okay.
a pullover in South Florida, man.
Listen, it's I don't know, it's chilly down here. It's like 40 some degrees. Hey, this is awesome. Thank you for doing this. Can you spend just a minute talking about the pain point? How long do you hang out in the pain point? And what are some questions that you might pose to the person you're talking to get them more emotionally connected to what it is that we have to offer?
Yeah, so my thought process is Christian Pounder does a hell of a job asking questions, right? He asks prying questions to get the sale. I ask one big question, okay? So what I'm doing is my thought process on my presentation, Tony, is, I'm telling you what this is and what it does. I'm promoting this at least 2 times before I even get your help. All right, so if I'm sitting with you and your wife, Tony, look, before we go any further, this is what this does. It will pay off the loan if you get sick, but I'm doing all that, right? And then when I find out if you qualify, I keep it really simple. I'll look at Tony. I was like, Tony, all right, I'm going to ask you and your wife this question. It's the same question for both of you, all right? But I'm going to ask your wife this first. Ms. Pompili, God forbid if Tony passed away tomorrow, are you going to stay in this house or are you going to sell it? Well, I want to stay in it. Okay, awesome. Let me ask you this, Ms. Pompelli. Can you afford to stay in it? It'd be tough. There's pain. There's
Yep.
pain. Tony just heard his wife say that she wanted to stay in the house, but it would be tough. Okay. Then I asked you the same question. Tony, I'm going to ask you the exact same question. Something happened to your wife. Are you going to stay in this house? You're going to say, oh, I'm going to stay in it. All right, good. Well, guys, look, I'm a make it make sense guy. Outside looking in, Tony, you can afford to stay in the house if something happens to your wife. Now, I can show you options for both of you, but here would be my advice. Tony, let's just focus on you. I just asked your wife, did she want to stay in this house? And she said she did. Then I asked her if she could afford it, and she don't think that she can. So my advice, let's just focus on you. Make sure we get you covered in case something happens to you. She can stay in this home. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's
And
the
you know, yeah, and I love that, because then that just comes back again to leading, right? So you're leading. You're not asking me, because if I leave it up to them, they're gonna say, oh, I can't afford both, and you know, so that's a great way to lead into providing a benefit, what it does for them, how it provides a benefit to them, and protecting the one that needs it most, and always having the availability to maybe expand down the road. So okay, that's great. Awesome.
You know what happens, Tony?
Yeah, they end up getting both. I guess
They end up getting both. They end up getting both.
I know. Yeah.
All right, Tony, get him approved. All right, look, Ms. Pompelli, look, I told you I was going to show you options on you. You don't have but 50,000 through work right now. Here's what you could get. And
We'll take
get the
Yeah, we'll
spouse
take it.
after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I want to get the sale first. So I'm weaving my way in to protect the person that needs it the most. And that's Tony, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to do the income, right?
Yeah.
And I think for newer agents, it can be tougher because, to be honest with you, if somebody's asking me my income, I'm just like, why do you need to know my income? We're talking about life insurance here. Why do you need to know my income? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Carrie, Nick, I got Carrie. She, I think she's going to clarify the question she asked.
Nice, thank you. My question is, when you do older mortgage protection leads, do you do the same opening if you know that those mortgage protection leads are 6 months old, a year old?
On the appointment or when I get on the presentation?
Oh, to get the appointment.
Yeah, so you must have gotten on the call later. You weren't listening.
Well, I was a little bit, but that's what my question was. I just wanted to have you re-clarify that.
When
I have 2-year-old leads.
Yeah. All right. So here I did this with Kanisha. I'm going to do it again with you, so you'll know. All right. Hey, Carrie, it's Nick Burns. How are you? Carrie, how are you?
Oh, she got muted.
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Hey, Carrie, my name is not going to ring a bell. Hey, I want to apologize first, Carrie. Back when you got that mortgage with Redstone, we had sent you a letter in the mail that talked about some options available to you in case you passed away or you become disabled. It would give your family the money to pay the home off. And again, I want to apologize because, Carrie, I'm looking in my system right now and showing that no one had gotten that information to you. Is that right?
Yes.
All right, good. Carrie, my job, I'm doing a lot of cleanup. And again, I apologize. My job is to get that information to you. Okay. So really quick, before we discuss anything, I'm going to send you an email, actually a text message with my state of Ohio credentials. I just want you to see who I am before we go any further.
Okay.
I'm going right into it. Right.
Okay.
All right. I'm apologizing. I apologize 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say 2 years ago, a year ago, 6 months ago. I just want to apologize that no one had gotten this information to you. And then once we get on the presentation, the lead goes out the window. I'm in the house. I don't know if you ever did face-to-face, but we taught agents that once you got in the house, the lead went out the door. You're in the house. The lead is your ticket to the door. That's all that is.
Mm-hmm.
The lead goes out the door, so I don't care how old it is.
Okay.
I had to give you a hard time, Carrie.
I know. No, I appreciate it and welcome it. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Nick, I think Kanisha had another question. Her hand was raised. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me? Because it's saying
We can
you
hear you.
can't. Okay. Do you even do the needs analysis at all? Or do you do it in the appointment once you sent them the email?
So step by step, I call whether I book an appointment or I do it right then on the spot. Okay. Step 2 is send them my credentials. I want them to see who I am before we go any further. Okay.
Get the camera, Nick, right?
All right. And Kanisha, I would take that off your screen. You don't need all that. You don't
Which
need
one? Okay.
Kanisha, field under. You don't need all that. Right?
Okay.
You got a great background. You look like a pro. Okay. You don't need.
Okay.
All right. Then I get them on video. All right. Then I set the table about what we're going to be discussing. What this is, what it's going to do for them. Okay. Then my job's just to see if you qualify. I'm going to ask you a few questions to make sure you qualify, and I'll show you your options. And then boom, I'm on my needs analysis. Left to right. That's all I'm doing. Left to right. It's my guide. Once I know they qualify, then I ask the question, like I did with Tony and his wife. Can you have the house? Once I find out who needs it, what route to go, then I pull up options.
Okay.
Simple. Simple wins in this business, Kanisha. All right.
Yes.
I got really good. My business really took off when I condensed my appointment down to this.
Yes.
I had too much shit in my appointment. I was saying too much. I had too much fluff in it, right? If you say the right things to the right people at the right time, that's a sale. The right things to the right people at the right time, that's a sale. That's all I'm looking for, right? That's all I'm looking for. I promise you, if Deanna Cooper puts her numbers and compares them to Connor Jones between sits and apps, Tony Hughes, Connor Jones, sits and apps, Christian Penn Cooper, Tony sits and apps, it's the same. It is the same across the board. This is a 50 to 60% closing rate. Sit on 10, write 5 to 6 apps. Sit on 20, write 10 to 12 apps. Sit on 100, write, sit on 100. The numbers are the numbers, okay? But the difference in the elite producers, the difference in the people that are writing businesses, they're getting more sits. That's it. That's all they're doing. Like I was frustrated the last 2 days, but I look back at my numbers. I'm not getting the sits, JB. I ain't got the sits. I can't be frustrated. You know?
Hey, I got one more, Nick. I got Josh Harriet. Him on. I think I said it right, Josh. See, I get to know your name when you throw out some numbers, man.
That's it, man. I appreciate it. I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. I'm driving. I don't want to make too much eye contact. But Nick, just a quick question, man. So when you do call some of the older leads, I know you don't work too many older leads, but when they say I have already had the insurance coverage, I got something in place, what's your best response to go ahead and try to get that appointment to get a replacement or potentially put them in a better position?
Awesome, Josh. That makes my job so much easier. If you don't mind me asking, I just want to make sure it's not one of our companies. Who do you have it with?
I already have it with Mutual of Omaha.
Okay, good. Do you know what the death benefit is and how much you're paying?
I don't. I think that it said it's going to pay the house off, if something happens.
Okay, so you don't know the exact amount. That was just what the agent told you?
Yeah, my mortgage is $300,000, so I should be for $300,000.
Okay, I got you at 47. Is that right?
Correct.
All right, so you're paying about $250 a month for it. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think it's like 230 something. Yeah.
Okay, here's what I would recommend. It won't take 6, 7, 8 minutes, all right, for us to jump on the call. We do have some other options out there that might be beneficial to you. Let's just jump on a call. Let me make sure you qualify, and I'll show you some options.
Perfect.
All right, and I'm not going to be super excited about that appointment, Josh, because
Right.
you got a company that we already have, right? I get super excited. Like I'm meeting with a lady this afternoon. She's got Lincoln Heritage. So I'm
I
jacked.
love them. Yep.
I'm jacked about that,
Yeah, I did the same thing for American Income Life yesterday, but I just want to see exactly how you
even better. Yeah.
They're the worst. I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. I appreciate you, Nick.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Well, look, the ones that asked questions got better, and hopefully you probably had the same questions. You got better today as well. So, Nick, appreciate you pouring into everybody every Wednesday.
Appreciate all the questions.
Absolutely. Go out, make a mess, come back with questions. You know, the only way you're going to know is if you do. That's the key. The only way you're going to find out what you need to work on is go make a mess and then come back and ask the questions how you can get better. See you tomorrow. Nick Theodore's hosting how you can stay consistent in your business. You guys have an awesome, awesome Wednesday.